Basharu Dele Momodu, I can't believe I'm actually going to be talking to you and discussing Nigeria's presidency. Why do you want to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
I have many reasons. The first is that by being a citizen of Nigeria, I'm qualified to be the president of Nigeria. The second is that by age, I'm qualified to be the president of Nigeria. The third is that by education, I'm qualified to be the president of Nigeria. The fourth is that by experience, I'm qualified. The fifth is that by exposure, I'm qualified. The sixth is that by what I would call antecedent, I've come along.
Now, when we talk about antecedents,
yes,
how come you've promoted Abacha, you've promoted Babangida, you've promoted all the people we see as enemies of the Nigerian state, people who've actually, in one way or the other, looted the public treasury, and you think you do better than them? How do we relate a man that's used Ovation magazine to promote the same people that has been destroying our country? How do we trust you with the presidency of this country? How do you want us to take you serious?
Number one, I object to the use of the word promote. I report. I don't promote. I report the same thing that is reported by The Guardian, by Punch, by Tuesday, by City People, by Comium, by all the newspapers in Nigeria, the News, Tel magazine. There is nothing that is different. There is no one I've ever reported in Ovation that has not been reported by all the other newspapers in Nigeria. Out of over 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 characters that we have reported in Ovation, all the people you mentioned cannot be up to 10.
But you...
So how come you are emphasizing 10 people out of 2,000, 3,000?
But if we look at Ovation magazine, I've not seen the stories of the downtrodden. I've not seen the story of the poor man on the streets of Agege, of that man in Jos.
Immediately after this interview, I will supply you with stories of hundreds of people, fortunately they're on my laptop, people who you would never have heard of if not for Ovation. And I will start mentioning them. The very first edition of Ovation, we did stories about ordinary Nigerians, fashion designers. You will never have heard of Adebakare. They will never be featured by Hello Magazine or OK. You will never have heard of Adebayo Jones. You will never have heard of Kosiba Creations, Yemi Oshukoya. You will never have heard of Marian Ayonote, the shoe designer. You will never have heard of, people like Ellen Irabo, the jewelry designer. These are young, ordinary, hard-working Nigerians who were promoted. If you are talking about promotion, that is promotion. If you talk about the other people, we're talking about events. Are you telling me that each time CNN carries the tapes of Osama bin Laden, they are promoting terrorism? But they are reporting. The job of a reporter is to report. And I don't need to seek EFCC clearance before you report. A journalist must be fair to all. I fought censorship under all the tyrannical governments in Nigeria, and I will never promote censorship. So if I go to interview an Abacha and you now choose to call it promotion, I mean, that is unfair.
When you show the houses of the Abachas, the palatial, unimaginable, grandiose palace, these generals built, these politicians who've looted our treasury, what do you hope to achieve, especially knowing that you may have collected, let me finish. Okay. You may have collected money from these same people to be able to publish their stories on your magazine.
Let me tell you the first thing. That is where the error of judgment comes from. I went to feature the Abacha wedding, and I told my photographer, Ajayi Oyebo, is alive. I said, Ajayi, this wedding for me is one part of the story. The most important part is that most people have spoken about this house of gold in Kano, but nobody has ever seen it. We must take it. In fact, when we were taking it, I took one of the cameras. I started firing. I said, if they will stop anybody from using the camera, they can face my photographer, but they will respect my status. They won't touch me. So we did that. how Ajayi sneaked behind the house to take the picture of the mausoleum where Abacha was buried. Nobody ever saw where Abacha was buried until Ovation published it. And then Tell another magazine started reproducing the copyright from Ovation. If I was a publisher elsewhere, I will receive accolades, I will receive credits, but because of the nature of the society we come from, where everybody sees every human being as a rogue, everybody says, oh, he must have collected money. They did not know, but it's not. It is my own secret how I run my business, how I get my stories. I'm able to enter any home to interview even my enemies. How I do it, that's my own secret. If Ovation was such a useless magazine that goes around, cap in hand, begging for such useless favors, nobody will talk to us 14 years after. Today, we're the #1 celebrity magazine in Africa. Today, we're the magazine to beat, we're the magazine everybody is copying. Every newspaper now has an event page, they have lifestyle page, they have society page. You must give me some credit.
But seriously, Mr. Momodu, when we look at journalism, where you're coming from, your relationship with Chief MKO Abiola, you've a lot of times told us about your humble background, how you had to struggle in the city of Ife, and a lot of struggle you've gone through. So of all these stories, the one we found as quite surprising is the story. Now let's leave the issue of Ovation. Now let's just go back on Abiola. Some of the things people complain about is you cannot find Dele Momodu's campaign without reference to Abiola. Are you trying to capitalize on the good name of MKO Abiola too?
Just the same way, Chief Bola Ige, Ebenezer Abatokwe, and all of them will not talk about politics and not mention Awolowo. I'm proud of my mentor. Why should I run away from a man who did not know me from Adam? The man was such an embodiment of generosity. He picked me up, discovered my talents. I was not the only one. Dele Giwa, Dele Lojede, all of them, Nosai Gebo, at different times, all of us worked in Concord. But I choose to be the one who will talk about him. Some other people will talk. It's like telling a Christian not to talk about Jesus Christ. It's not possible. So if you have your hero, you must talk about him. I believed in him. He stood for my father. My father died when I was 13. This man was with my father at my wedding. He received my wife from her parents. How do you expect me to forget something? So in fact, one of my biggest strengths today in this society is that people respect me for being a loyal son of Abiola. And I can tell you, I have a most wonderful relationship with his family, from his wives to his children, his first son, Tola. Even yesterday we were still talking. If you see us, you will think we're born by the same father. In fact, on one occasion, the most senior wife now, Chief Mrs. Bisley Abiola, came to my house. And she was serious. She asked my wife, Madam, are you sure Dele is not Abiola's son? And my wife said, well, I said, the way the man talks, the way the man dresses, the way the man will get to occasions, and he will enliven everywhere, he's jovial, he's generous. And my wife said, no. In fact, the only time my mother ever met Abiola was when Elijah Simbiat Abiola died in 1992, and my mom came from Ilefe to commiserate with Chief Abiola. Still
on Abiola, when Abiola was running to become president of Nigeria, he emphasized one major theme: eradication of poverty. He was known to keep referring to his humble background and wanting to liberate the Nigerian people from the yoke of poverty. Now, let us put Abiola's campaign in parallel with your campaign. We've not seen a major theme from you. There has been quite very interesting complaints about some people saying Dele Momodu is just all flash. There were reports you drove a big limousine to one of the university campuses, and people were wondering, what kind of campaign are we seeing from Chief Momodu?
You see, what I've realized is that some of the people who complain about me all the time were people who were born maybe even after June 12, or they were too young to remember the main actors, the activists, and the activities that led to June 12. I can tell you that Chief Abiola was one of the most flamboyant human beings on earth. And that's one of the things that attracted both the rich and the poor to him. For at the stage, I used to think Abiola was richer than Bill Gates. You see, he had a lifestyle. You see, show business is about make-believe. It's not about how much you have. It's about how you spend what you have. I'm not a rich man by any standard, by any yardstick. That I can tell you. And by the time this campaign progresses, you will be shocked at some of the things.
You've not answered the question. How would a limousine at the University of Ife?
What I'm telling you is that I'm in showbiz. I've answered it. I said showbiz is about make-believe. 19-year-old people are driving limousines in Hollywood. They don't own it. You can rent a limousine for $100. It depends on what you want to do to catch people's attention. It's just to attract, and it worked. In fact, there was a lady who was into PR, who was inside the car with us. When she saw the way the students were flooding her, she said, oh, I would have done it otherwise, but now I can see. What we used that limousine to do was to attract those people to follow us to the venue. By the time we got to the venue of the place was empty. In Nigeria, you have to understand where you come from. Most people don't attend serious functions. That is why when our radicals organize events, they will not find any soul. So you must use what that. If you go to churches today, you see people dancing Fuji, Ajekule Fuji inside church. You see people doing raps inside churches. It's the same thing with politics. Obama flew a private jet. If I could afford a private jet today or a helicopter, I would take a helicopter. I'm delivering some lectures this weekend on some campus. If I could have an helicopter, I'll be out there, Chief Awolowo, doing skywriting. I don't know why. What is wrong with us? At what stage did we stop loving the good life in Nigeria? We're supposed to be the happiest people on earth. We're supposed to be the most flamboyant human beings on earth. As long as you have worked hard for your money, you must be able to spend your money as you deem fit.
Now, let us talk about policies. What will be your policy if you become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Oh, very simple and straightforward. The first one is that I'll be a very, very transparently honest leader. When you talk about leadership, leadership is about who is behind the wheels. It's about management of people and resources. Most of the people who have led us are people who have never managed anything in their lives. And yet we will say they are experienced leaders. How can you run other people's lives when you cannot run your own life? So I can tell you I'm a global citizen and I have what it takes, and if and when tomorrow I become the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, you will see a leader who, like Chairman Mao, will be in front leading the people. Now, I will not lead my people astray. When I say something, I will do exactly what I have said. In Nigeria, what you have is do as I say and not as I do. And I mean, from the little of my life that you know, good education. I'm very proud of the education that I have. I didn't just go to school to study Yoruba and study English literature. I went to school to be a complete human being. If you're talking about ideology, from socialism to welfareism to capitalism, I'm very well grounded.
Now that you've mentioned Commander-in-Chief, how would you want the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to take Chief Dele Momodu serious as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
In fact, today, I believe I'm their best friend. I have videos, I have pictures to show that as far back as 2001, I've been going in the bush with little resources, the little money that I make. I go into the bush to ask after their well-being. I eat with them, share the same lunch, the same dinner. I had to take permission from UNAMSIL, the United Nations Forces in Sierra Leone. I did the same thing in Liberia. I talked to rebel leaders, you will not believe it. I preached to them to lay down their arms. I preached to young soldiers in the bush who at the age of 8 were already carrying AK-47. I have all the pictures, I have the videos.
Welcome to Forestville Luxury Hotel. At Forestville Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forestville Luxury Hotel. We are located at #1 Adeline Obamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.4zhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. 4Z Hotel, experience the home of comfort. They come.